There you go.
Okay. So we'll jump on now.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in to PBFM this afternoon. It's 4:20. We've got our guests in the studio ready to go. We've got Danny, Jamie, Dave and Tim. Welcome all.
There you go. G'day.
Hello.
Good to have you all here.
Thank you very
I've
much.
sort of only got one of you on the mic, so that's all right. So you'll speak for the other guys.
Indeed.
So Danny, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, I'm a local Adelaide songwriter. I'm part of Christian missions and church groups, and I write a lot of songs that Christians can sing in church, and I've recently released a 5-song EP of some of my original worship songs.
Right. Well, which church?
Well, there are many Christians all around Adelaide, and I affiliate with many of them.
Yeah,
I've been
okay.
part of Baptist churches for a long time, but my affiliation goes much broader than just any one denomination. I guess I'd like to think of myself as a Christian in Adelaide, is as much as I'd like to say.
Perfect. That's right. Yeah, it's always interesting, isn't it, how people sort of answer that. You know, there's one God and that's it.
That's right. That's right.
And whatever anyone wants to believe in.
Yeah, we believe in Jesus. We believe that he's the Son of God, and we just want to give him praise and glory.
Very nice. And music's been in your family?
It has been. So my grandma, she played piano, and all my aunties, they actually had a singing group when I was a little kid. They had a singing group at church, and my uncle was part of that and joined in and played the drums with them. And my other uncle on that side is a composer with the Adelaide Conservatory of Music. So the name Polglase gets around a bit.
What nationality?
It's Cornish, so it's just English, but I live in an area of Adelaide where there's a lot of Italian people, and the Italians actually think that we are Italian,
Really?
but we are Cornish from England.
You speak some Italian now?
Not at all.
They didn't teach you any words?
No.
That's it. All right. So actually tell us about the songs that you've written before we get into it.
So the first one I'm going to play is called Who Is He? And it's a song that I actually wrote back in 1999 when I was 19 years old. So there's a hint about when I was born. And I wrote it when I was in church as a teenager in the youth group, and it's been with me ever since. And I've taken it from place to place wherever I'm fellowshipping, and people have always caught hold of the song and they've really enjoyed it. And it's always been my goal to record it, but it's taken me 20 years to do so. But I'm pleased to say that now we can record it and have it available. So.
Very nice. All right. So if we can get into that
Yeah,
first song.
absolutely.
Thank you, Danny.
And you are worthy of
Danny. Lovely. Now, before we continue on with the segment, I just want to know how you all met each other. I know Tim's been in the studio before. I've met Tim before. Haven't met the rest of you, but how do you all know each other?
Jamie on guitar has been playing with me for quite a number of years. So that song that we just did, excuse me while I catch my breath. That song that we just did was a song that Jamie and I have been sort of arranging together for quite some time, and the guitar part, is now a part of the song that I can't hear the song without that guitar part. So it's a beautiful piece of guitar work, and I just want to thank Jamie for adding all of that to it. Dave joined me last year when we were planning the EP, and so we've been known each other for probably most of last year, just working together to get the songs ready for recording. So
yeah, very nice.
yeah, and Tim's filling in, so a big thank you to Tim, who's filling in for my bass player who recorded the EP with me. Mark is his name, so shout out to Mark for his work, but not being able to be here today.
So how do you go about writing your music? When you sort of sit down, you get in a quiet, creative space. Do you like it quiet, or does it just come to you?
I think it's a mixture of all of those things. I'm inspired by nature, by when I read the Bible, by revelations that the Lord will give to me in my spirit, and I have an app on my phone that I can take notes. So my family sees me walking around the house and I'm just constantly writing my notes onto my phone, just little phrases and words that I can turn into a song later. Then I'll go sit down at the keyboard. Sometimes there'll be a chord progression that just happens and the words fit with the music. Sometimes I have to really work at the song, and it's a work in progress. So
Yeah.
it's a real mixture for me.
Yeah. Have you had any of those songs that just come to you and
Absolutely,
you just do it in 5 minutes, the whole thing's done?
Absolutely, and the feeling you get after writing a song in that way is just amazing. You just sit back and you're blown away by what happened, because it isn't even you. It's just, for me, it's God just dropping words into my spirit, and then it just comes out on the piano. So
Yeah, look, I've heard so many musicians say that it's a spiritual thing.
It
When
is,
it
it
happens
very
so
much is,
quickly,
yeah.
they say what you said. They said it's not me, it's something else.
that's right, yeah. So
You said it's God.
that's right.
Other people say it's the universe. Other people, everyone's.
That's right.
Different.
We've all got our inspirations. For me, it's the Lord Jesus Christ. So
I agree. All inspiration comes from Spirit and Jesus, absolutely. And so your next song, if you can just tell us a little bit about this song and when you wrote it and how it came about.
this song has a title that possibly people wouldn't be familiar with the words if they saw them written on the page. They're pronounced Yahweh, Adonai, and they're two Hebrew words from the Bible. And Yahweh is the name that God gives himself, and Adonai is the word for Lord. So they're two words that are special to me, and they are put together. They represent God and the name that he gives himself. And if some of your listeners are familiar with the Bible, there's lots of revelations that individuals had of this amazing God who revealed himself in this just incredible, glorified sort of way, and these visions that people had to try and explain what they saw. So this song sort of is about those visions of the Almighty that these people had, and trying to put words to something that is ultimately incomprehensible.
Gee, that's a task for you. How'd you do it then?
Well, I just tried to stick to what those prophets had already seen. So
It's amazing. Good for you.
yeah. So this song's got an extended piano intro, just to sort of highlight the keyboard and the music there. So. you've seen such extraordinary sight. Woe is me, I'm unclean, I have breathed on
Danny, Jamie, Dave and Tim in the studio this afternoon here at PBA FM. Very nice. Thank you very much. So I'm just curious as well, how often do you perform live in your place of worship?
It really depends. Personally, I will lead worship in church services, I don't know, perhaps a couple of times a month. The other guys have got commitments in their own churches and other places where they go. I do write other songs as well, so I guess you'd call that my performance or my pop set, and those songs are much more social commentary, what's going on in the world today, and we've had opportunity to perform them as well at community markets and other events like that. So I've really got two quite distinct parts to my songwriting, and the EP that I've just recently released has been the Christian worship songs.
So what's an example of that other style of?
A bit more funky, a bit more, up tempo, sort of, jazz, funk, sort of piano-based, Ben Folds 5, if listeners are familiar with that sort of group, was a group that influenced me a lot when I was growing up. So that piano pop, really sort of hard-hitting style on the keyboard.
And then you talk. You said you said you don't sing. It's more talking when you deliver it.
No, I'll sing. They're definitely songs, but it's more social commentary. The songs are about what's happening in the world today.
Oh, is that what you meant? I thought that like how sometimes people don't sing and they talk.
No, it's definitely singing,
well.
but it's just songs that are more about what's happening in the world and what I think about it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What do you think about it?
How long have you got?
Can you put it in a nutshell?
Look, I think people are very afraid right now. I think there's a lot of fear and uncertainty, and look, I just want to encourage your listeners to reach out if they are afraid and uncertain about what's going on in the world. There is one answer, and that answer is Jesus. And that might sound trite. People might have heard that before and thought, that doesn't work for me. But there's always a second chance. You can always reach out, and there will be an answer if you approach God with faith in your heart. So
yes, 100%. And look, I have seen a lot on social media, lots of banners and posters, where people sort of get together and express how they feel,
Yeah.
And you see different verses from the Bible, trust God, this sort of thing, and I've seen it in the city, just walking around, and when people sort of gather together and, expressing how they feel, it feels very spiritual.
Yeah.
And they open with
true.
prayer and they close with prayer, and people are talking to each other no matter what their side or no matter what their opinion. It's not about this or that, how we divided in society now. It's not about what side people are on. It's just people on both sides coming together and talking.
That's right. And look, if you have questions in your heart, there's nothing wrong with that. And if you express that, then I think you'll find that people are very open to not only hearing those questions, but just engaging in a dialogue about what is really going on, and those answers are there to find if we talk to each other and if we, listen to each other. There are definitely answers to be found.
That's true. And I'm glad you said that, because, amongst all of this, we do hear a lot of people saying they're confused and they don't know what's going on, and, this is that way one day and the next day it's different. But I'm glad you said that, because there are answers, and a lot of people do, in their own belief system, know what's going on, and that gives them a sense of peace to go through the storm calmly with the armour of God.
Exactly, you're onto it. That's right.
So it's, like they say, we shouldn't, what does God say? He doesn't want us to worry.
Fear not.
How does it go?
There's fear not. The command not to fear, be strong and courageous. Those sorts of commands are all through the Bible. And actually, interesting fact, and my wife, if she's listening, she'll smile at this. But the command not to be afraid, or to fear not, or don't worry, is actually repeated 365 times in the Bible, which is obviously one for every day of the year. So, God reminds us every single day of the year not to worry, don't be afraid. So,
365 times, not 366, not 364.
That's the count that I was given. Yeah. So, just little things like that are there if we're ready to receive that. So.
And I did see also on social media someone posted, was it Daniel in the cave?
That's right.
In the prison?
In the den of lions.
The den of lions. What's that? Daniel? I forget.
Daniel in the lion's den is often how we say it. Yeah.
And he's in prison, and it's a picture, an image, a painting, or it will obviously really happened, but the picture is a painting, the one I saw.
That's right.
And Daniel in prison.
He was actually cast into a pit of hungry, starving lions who were expected to eat him.
Yeah.
And the miracle was that they didn't. That God closed the mouths of those lions. And God is in control of nature and natural forces. He's also in control of our governments, believe it or not. Nothing that happens in secret will be hidden forever. So.
And just that image that he was looking up to the light.
Yeah, that's right.
And there's another sort of verse as well where God says, amongst the storm and darkness, look up to the light. Just stay focused on the light.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to focus on the darkness, isn't
that's
it?
Right,
if that's all around.
That's right.
That's what we look at it, because it's there in our face. We can't avoid it.
That's right.
In the material
and
world.
that's what fear does. It causes you to look at the darkness. But we approach God with faith and with just trust that He will lead us through the storm.
Best armour in the world.
That's right.
Thank you very much. Anything else we need to cover before we finish off? How do we get your music?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've just released it onto Bandcamp. So my 5-song EP is called Rebuilding Ruins. And that title was chosen deliberately after some contemplation. I mentioned that I've been writing songs for more than 20 years. And it's taken me more than 20 years to record them. And that's not true for everyone. But for me, there was just a lot of life to live between, my starting out as a 18, 19-year-old writing songs and where I've got to today. And so I feel like I've got, a lot of history that's happened in my life. So the idea of sort of rebuilding what is lying in ruin to make something whole again was the idea behind the title there. And also that, these songs can be used to build a new building in the church, metaphorically, that we can use fresh inspiration and fresh songs to build something new. So that's the title of the EP. It's available on Spotify and, all the streaming services, Apple Music. But, the best way to get it is to go to my Bandcamp, which is dannypolglase.bandcamp.com. If your listeners are familiar with that platform, and you can buy the EP directly from there, and all those funds go to my own account rather than giving the big platforms in America some of the sales. So it's good. Bandcamp is a good way to support local artists because we can control our own music that way. So
that's right.
And you'll find me on social media as well, so Facebook Facebook is the main one for me, so it's just Danny Polglase Worships and Danny Polglase Music, 2 different pages there.
Yeah. And can you just spell your surname for listeners as
Absolutely, it's Polglase. So DannyPolglase.com.
Excellent, thank you. And just before we say goodbye, I liked it how you said that your inspiration is nature and the Bible, and you know, of course, nature. A lot of people say that they get a lot of inspiration from nature. You know, whether it's painters, poets, musicians,
Look,
storytellers.
I live near Moriarty National Park.
Oh.
I think Conservation Park.
This place in
but,
Adelaide.
you know, it's a beautiful, beautiful park. I go walking there all the time. It's got some very, very steep hills and tracks right up to the top. But once you get up there, right up to the very top, you can actually see right across the city, all across the plains, right out to the Gulf there. And you know, it's very rewarding. You've laboured up this hill, you've pushed yourself, and when you get up the top, it's a bit euphoric. You know, it's a bit of a bit of a experience there. And you know, I'll often get up the top and just feel this sense of accomplishment and being close to God and being in the bush and in nature. And yeah, I've had lots of things that I've thought about and put into song up there.
So when you get to the top, you do enjoy it at the top and take it in, because a lot of I used to walk up Mount Lofty with my husband. I haven't done it for a while, but you see people get to the top, a quick snap, boom, and then go, and it's like, what? Take it in. You did all that hard work.
That's right. Yeah. No, it's a really great spot to be, and there's lots of things up there that you know, if you pause and just take it in, you'll see koalas and kangaroos and echidnas and cockatoos and you know, the whole lot. It's just
so good, isn't it?
Yeah. So you gotta learn to be still, and when you're still and quiet, then the voice of God can speak to you. So.
That's right. And we can do it. Like, we think we can't do it. We think we can't slow down. Oh, I'm too busy. And I think people's system is used to being busy. You know, we're used to being wound up. That's sometimes. Right. Yeah. But it's actually easy. If we just put it in our head, it's easy to unwind and sit down. People say, I haven't got time. I spoke to someone recently that said, I haven't got time to eat healthy. I haven't got time to have fruit and veg and cut a salad. I was like, wait a minute, but that's your body is a temple. Come on.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, you've got to take care of yourself, and we have to slow down.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, thank you all for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless. And see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Song sounded great.
Yeah. Good for me.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, great.
So if you want to say goodbye here.
See you later.